Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Saturday. This is Devils After Dark, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios here in New Jersey and Scotty's Beverly Hills Estates in Beverly Hills, California.
Estates? Is that plural?
Yes. You've got multiple states.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize.
So when the officiating is so bad, you could trash one part of your estate. So you could do Devils After Dark at the other part.
I'm very close to it right now, Sam Wu, as we were just talking about before we went on air here.
Yeah.
And I see a couple of you already agree with me on the old YouTube page, but we're going to get to it. Thank you, Celluloid. Thank you, Josh. Someone else had mentioned it as well. Who was it? Someone, I don't remember. Someone else was talking about it. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, just look, we got people on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, Twitch, people just tuning in, commenting. We have a lot to say. We're going to get to your comments as well and questions and all because I'll tell you, before we got on this podcast, just to let everybody know, the first thing I told Scotty, I'm pissed off. I'm really pissed off. Not at the Devils themselves, but just pissed off because the officiating. I'm while Scotty does the unhappy Devils recap, I'm going to do a little research on the officiating because it was just apparently headshots are illegal.
Yeah, can you look up shots to the head, please, Sam Wu, and see what the rule is on that? You know, I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
because apparently, if you're on the Devils, you're allowed to get, shot right to the head and take it and not get a penalty. So,
and I love
to hear the actual rules on that.
Yeah, with the repeat offender that should have been expelled from the league for at least licking people.
Dirty play by a dirty player. Bar none. Hey, Pasternak, you want to go cry in the corner because Timo Meier flattened you? Talk to 63 and tell him not to headhunt. Then maybe you won't get plastered into the boards at the end of the game, dude.
Yeah. And
go cry somewhere else.
And when Allmark tries to, take a shot on goal, icing doesn't count in that situation? I don't know.
I'm not happy.
No, I'm not happy at all.
I personally do not like Marchand, and now I don't like him even more because I feel like every time we play Boston, that dude is taking cheap shots, and I know he does it all the time.
And he gets away with it. He gets away with it.
Yeah, I don't get it. He put his shoulder into McLeod's face. He was leaning up, yet somehow no penalty.
And you know what's even more BS is the ESPN announcers actually trying to explain it and really stretching how it was a legal play and no penalty called. That's something in itself, that really got me. But Scotty, we had to let out the emotion,
And if you were watching the game, you'll notice he took a shot at Dawson Mercer a little bit after that too, right in the back of the head.
Yeah.
That dude needs to be checked. And I'm not talking about a hockey check. I mean, he needs to be friggin' checked by the league. That was a dirty play by a dirty player.
With a history.
And suck it, Pasta. I'm glad Timo went over there and buried you in the corner. Because if your dude's going to take cheap shots like that, then you're going to get plastered too, my friend. So talk to 63 in the locker room afterwards.
My respect for Timo Meier just went infinitely higher. That's what the Devils needed the entire, for the last 3 years. And, again, we'll talk about it, a little bit later, but we should get to the recap, Scotty, because
Thank you. Eric saw it as well. I knew I wasn't the only one. I knew I wasn't the only one who saw that.
Yeah.
He cross-checked Mercer in the back of the head. How that dude is just able to get away with that, I don't understand. I really don't understand. Whatever. I'm a little pissed, if you guys can tell. It was a good game otherwise. Other than that, it was a damn good game, even though the Devils lost. I'll let Sam – I won't steal Sam's analogy that he told me prior to coming on here. I'll let him have that glory a little later on today. But I actually thought, standing up to a team who's at a historic level, tying the all-time record for wins today, I thought the Devils played pretty darn good. And I know everyone was having a heart attack with – with Mackenzie Blackwood being in there, like, what? Blackwood's what? What's going on? What? Why is Blackwood in there? But after that first, 10 minutes where the Bruins were really pouring it on, he really, really played well, I gotta say. I know I sent a text message in our little group chat of the Chris Farley, just having a heart attack. From the Bears sketch on Saturday Night Live. That's me every time there's a shot on goal with Mackenzie Blackwood in net. That's me every single time, I swear. But he turned it around after that first onslaught that the Bruins had there. In the first, what do you say, maybe 6, 7, 8 minutes, the first 10, I'll say first 10 minutes of the first period. We'll just say that. Yep. But after the Devils scored, when Brad scored, they really settled down a lot more.
Yep. I don't know if you knew.
Well, let's get. What, that you have a UTI?
No, I don't know if you knew about this. Max had the live feed when the players were coming out, and that's when we discovered Mackenzie Blackwood's at the head of the line, and we're like,
yeah, I know.
On Game Day Live, we're like, what? Are you sure? Where's VTech?
Yeah, but and we have to also say that. Our good friend Paul Marino, father of John Marino, was at the game. And apparently word, I think, has gotten back to John because Max yelled out, "Touchdown, Marino!" And he gave himself a nice laugh and everything like that. So I think maybe Paul might have shared some of the great football calls of Sam Wu with John. So that makes us happy. That makes us happy. But, yeah,
definitely. Let's
talk about this game over here. Big news, if you didn't hear, Luke Hughes is signed. Look out. Luke. He is signed on his entry-level contract. So we'll see if he actually does get into a game sometime in these last two before the season is up. Eric Halla out of the lineup. He had a maintenance day the other day in practice, didn't practice. Bastian back in there. Igor Sharangovich back in there. Siegenthaler back in the lineup. Brendan Smith back out. Let me see here. What did I have here? Taylor Hall, our old friend TH9, is back in the lineup for Boston. Devils had a chance to tie their road win record. Devils had a chance to tie actually, they had a chance to go into first place. They could have also tied for first place with the Carolina Hurricanes losing earlier in the day. They had a chance to tie their franchise record for 51 wins on a season. What else did we have here? Oh, and they're 2 points off tying the greatest turnaround in the history of the NHL. With what are they at? A 45-point turnaround right now, and I think the record is 47. And of course, the Bruins were looking to tie the all-time wins record. There was a lot riding on this game today, that's for damn sure. And then you see Mackenzie Blackwood, and you're like, what is Lindy doing? But you know what? I think he made the right call. I mean, it didn't turn out in the end, but he did play pretty well, and we're going to talk about it right now. Let's get into it. First period. Now, the Bruins scored twice. They were coming at the Devils with an onslaught there in the first period. Really in those first, I wouldn't even say 10. I'll say maybe 6 to 7 minutes. And, of course, it's our old friend, Pavel Zacha, who scores both the goals. The first one, a power play goal off of deflection in front. And I have here my double sarcastic shocker. First off, the Devils leave someone open right in front of the net. How many times have we seen that this year? And then the second sarcastic shocker, Pavel Zacha, first goal in 12 games. Tell me that doesn't sound familiar from his days on the Devils. But good for Pav, he's having a good time over there with Pasternak and putting up some points this year. So good for him. Just sucks that he scored against us. But really, he was left wide open in front of the net for that deflection. I don't know why Severson didn't get on him over there, but that has been an Achilles heel for the Devils all season long. And it happened a couple other times in this game as well. And I will say this for Damon, though he kind of made that little blunder there at the start of the game, he did recover nicely, and he made two very nice defensive plays on 2-on-1s. So Boston up 1-0. Zacha his 19th at 2 minutes of the first period on the power play. And, Boston was coming out swinging, and 2 minutes and 44 seconds later, Zacha gets his 20th. And this one, is I think everyone was probably screaming at the TV, Lindy, why did you put Blackwood in the game? I don't know what he was thinking on this goal, because I think it was Pasternak, right? Yeah, that shot it in. It had a hard carom off the backboards and came out the opposite side of the goal. Right to Zacha, and Mackenzie Blackwood was completely turned around, looking the opposite direction, and instead of going side to side, looking out, he was actually looking into the goal when he was skating on the side, spinning like a top. I don't know what he was doing there, and Zacha just put a backhander on net that would have went wide. But in Mackenzie Blackwood's little spin-a-rooney that was going on there, it just happened to perfectly time out that as he was turning, Zacha's shot hit the inside of his leg pad, and pa-doom, caromed right into the net. 2-0 Boston Bruins. And I don't know about you, but yeah, I was pulling what little hair I have left on the top of my head. Lindy, why? Why, Blackwood, why? But we'll say this. Mackenzie really settled down after that. And about 2 minutes after, less than 2 minutes, $1:40 later, at 6:21 of the first period, Jack Hughes said, enough of that. I'm going to bring the puck up the ice. I'm going to bring it into the zone, slide it past the defense right to my man, JB, Jesper Bratt, and he's going to go straight to Ullmark, and he's going to go to the backhand, back to his forehand, and put the puck right around the outstretched leg of Ullmark for his 32nd goal of the year. Jesper Bratt at 6:21. Nice goal here. And it's exactly what the Devils needed, because that Boston crowd was going crazy. Boston was throwing so much puck at the Devils net. And that is exactly what the Devils needed to just kind of settle things down. This is not going to be a 4-5-0 blowout here, Boston. All right? The Devils, put some respect on that name. We're not a bunch of chumps. Hughes gets his 54th assist of the year, tying him with number 26. Oh, sorry, wrong shoulder. Right over my shoulder here, number 26, Patrick Elias, for the most points all time for a New Jersey Devil. 96, baby. He's going to have 2 games left to go ahead and try and break that. Or is it 3? How many games left? No, it's 2 games, right? Yeah. Bratt, his 32nd. That's the end of the scoring. It all happened in the first 6 minutes of the game. Can you believe that? It settled down. Again, right after that, though, the Devils leave a man in front. This was Graves kind of going an abandoned ship and charged over to the one side of the ice that Kevin Ball was already, or was it Marino at that time? No, I think Ball was actually on the ice at that point. Although Kevin Ball was still playing in the penthouse, as Lindy Ruff likes to call it, up on that top pairing with Dougie Hamilton. But I don't know why Graves went abandoned ship and got himself way out of position there. And Hathaway had a good chance, but Blackwood, you could see, he was starting to turn the tide a little bit and settle down himself because he was getting peppered. How many shots did they have in the front? I think the Bruins had 22 or 24 shots. How many shots did they have in the first period? 22 shots in the first period. Tied most this entire season. That's the most amount of shots Devils have let up in a period this season. And Mackenzie Blackwood, for those first 2 goals, the deflection, can't really put it on him. The second one, when he's doing the spin-a-rooney the wrong way, okay, I'm going to put that one on Mackenzie Blackwood. But that first deflection, someone should have picked up Zacha in front of the net. He really settled down and played well through the rest of this game. But Hathaway had a good chance there. Blackwood made the save. And then what I did like seeing is the gravy train getting back over there, and Kevin Ball as well. Big Ball came, and he cleared that crease. He got the Bruins away, because Hathaway, he's a feisty player. He's not a dirty player like Marchand, but whatever. Sorry, I'm still a little pissed off about that. But Ball and Graves go over there and clear the crease. Love seeing that. Second period, Jack had a breakaway. Oh man, I thought that was tie game right there. He came in, he puts a shot on Olmark, makes the save, gets the rebound, and kind of chips it as Olmark is kind of sliding with his leg out, and you can see it kind of rattling around in between his blocker and his leg pad. I was like, oh, that's going in. It didn't. And then I think Sharon Govich actually got a rebound there as well that Olmark also got. Timo and Orlov then got tangled up after that, so we had some 4-on-4 play. Then there was a long stretch pass out to Pasta that Dougie just flat out missed. I don't know, Dougie and Gravy Train, both, I mean, we know how it is with Dougie Hamilton. Dougie giveth and he taketh away. He giveth with the offense, and sometimes, a lot of times, he taketh with those defensive plays. And he let that long stretch pass get through. And then Pasta had a breakaway on Blackwood. And it was almost like the exact same thing that happened to Jack a few minutes before that. And that he got a shot on Blackwood. Blackwood made the save. And then the rebound was right there for Pasta as well. Got a good rebound opportunity. And Mackenzie Blackwood gobbled that one up as well. It was like, they were like mirror plays, Pasta and Jax over there. Devils had a power play after that. Timo had a good setup, but he had a shot go off the heel of his stick. Man, Boston's power play penalty kill is deadly. Deadly. What are they now? 34 of their last 34 or something like that? They got an incredible streak going, and you could see they are just so aggressive on that penalty kill. The Devils did not get set up on their power play at all tonight. At all. And we're going to get to it. They had plenty of opportunity to do it going into the third period, but Boston didn't even give up an inch. Couldn't even tell most of the time that they were down a man when they were on the PK. I was just like, how is there a Bruin everywhere on the ice? There's always supposed to be 4 of them. Is there like Invisible Man going on out there or something like that? Doing like some rated Mortal Kombat stuff? Ba-joom, ba-joom. Just teleporting from one spot on the ice to the other? That PK, wow. Wow. Really, really impressive. I guess that's how you win, 62 games in a season. And by the way, this was a great stat over here. This game, combined wins, the teams had 111 combined wins, and combined points, they had 235. That is the most combined wins and combined points for 2 teams playing an NHL regular season game. That's pretty cool. I thought that was a good stat that ESPN put up there. Oh yeah, Jack had another partial 2-on-1 with Dawson Mercer. That got broken up. Yegor Sharangovich drew the 4-minute high sticking penalty, which they originally called 2 on McAvoy, and then you could see that Yegor was bleeding. They got a 4-minute double minor. Now they got this with 15 seconds left to go in the second period. So it basically means you're going to have a 3:45 power play to start the third. And I sent a text message over to Beer Bear and Short Sky and Sam Wu, and I was like, that power play needs to come through in the third period. And they only got 3 shots on goal. 3 shots on goal in a 4-minute power play. And we're not talking about, the Devils from like 3 years ago. This is 108-point Devils, 50-win Devils. What's their goal differential? They're like a plus 60 something, I think, goal differential. 3 shots on goal. That should tell you how damn good that Boston PK really is. The best chance they had there was Nico behind the net, fed an approaching Jesper Bratt towards the goal, fed it to Jesper, who took a shot, and Timo Meier was right in front of the net. He got a deflection, but Ullmark made the save. Palat, man, he didn't have a great game either. He missed the net on a Thomas Tatar feed. Tatar also didn't have a good game. There were a couple of times Thomas Tatar had, and I'm not gonna harp too much on Tuna, but there were a couple times in the defensive zone where it was like, just get the puck out of the net, out of the zone, guys. Why are you trying to make all these crazy passes? Boston was stopping them at the blue line and just keeping the puck in. I'm like, just get it out of the zone. This is not playing the Columbus Blue Jackets like it was the other day. This is the friggin' Boston Bruins. This is a different animal over here. Let's not try to get way too fancy. And I feel like Palat had a couple missed opportunities, but I remember Tuna as well. Tuna, Graves, and Dougie. I remember just a couple of things. I'm like, just get it. I'm like screaming at my couch. I'm like, get it out of the zone. Just get it out of the damn zone. I don't know what they were doing on some of that stuff. But either way, Palat, when Palat missed that net from the net from the Tatar feed near the end of that 4-minute double minor, there was a 2-on-1 the other way, and Severson made the first good play defensively there on the 2-on-1, where he just completely took out the other man, and Blackwood was able to play the angle beautifully and just whip. Glove save and a beauty right there on one of those shorthanded opportunities. Mikey McLeod, before he got cheap shotted, was winning important faceoffs this entire game. McLeod is not going to put in the big offensive numbers, but it might be completely understated how important he is in that faceoff circle, especially in the defensive zone. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he's like top 5 in the league. The league, not the league in faceoff percentage. He was winning some big ones for Bergeron tonight, who also is a beast in that faceoff circle. Another 2-on-1 played well by David Severson. This time he went down, little sliding down to block the pass. I think he got it with his stick. Saw Jesper Bratt go hard to the net, trying to make a power move, crashing into Ullmark. Dougie, that's right. Hathaway, who you know is going to be physical and play the body. There's a puck in the defensive zone, and Dougie Hamilton's like letting up, going for it. And Hathaway just comes in and crunches him. And he had more than like 2 steps on Hathaway. Why are you letting up? In your own zone. I don't know. I don't know about that one. John, don't call me Dan, Icy Toner Gloves, laces up. Marino had himself a beautiful stick handling play, bringing the puck into the zone. And he set up Timo Meier, who had a good backhand opportunity. Again, friggin' Ullmark. Like we've seen in the previous Bruins-Devils games, man, Ullmark can rise to that occasion. He plays really, really well. Then we went about 6-7 minutes there in the third period without a stoppage of play. And then the cheap shot happened with McLeod taking the shot to the chin. Somehow that wasn't a penalty. Still don't understand how. Don't really understand that. It's making me mad just thinking about it, so I'm going to move on. But either way, I hope the league looks at that. I'm sure they won't, because it's, the Devils. I'm sure this decision came from Toronto. Just absolutely terrible. Devils try to pull the goaltender, but they're unable to get the puck in the net there in the final few minutes. A little scramble there at the end. Timo plasters Pasternak on the boards. He's mad. Well, tell your boy not to be taking cheap shots. Because, sorry, Pasta, you're going to be the one that people start targeting. Because you're the big money player over there. 100 points plus. So when those cheap shots happen, and good for Timo. And Timo's wasn't a cheap shot. It was just near the end of the game. Clean hit. Just put him down. Timo's a big boy. So, really good game that kind of leaves a little sour taste in the mouth because of that play with about, when was the McLeod hit? Maybe like 7 minutes to go in the game. But other than that, Devils, I thought played well. They withstood the barrage. They made a couple of bad defensive plays, but holy Hanneman, did Mackenzie Blackwood play a lot better than I think anybody expected him to play. And strong effort from Jack Hughes, strong effort from Jesper Bratt, who also had a couple hits in the game as well. JB was on fire tonight. I thought he had a really strong game, showing his speed, making some offensive plays happen. Nico Hischier scrumming it up a little bit. I don't remember who it was that was trying to punch him in the face there, but I love that Nico's tired of taking this crap. And he's reached that age where he's like, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a man. I'm not going to take this BS anymore. And he's fighting back. And I love that. Because that's what a captain does. Plays the game the right way, but he don't take no cheap shots. And he's willing to stand up for himself. Like the play from Ball. Really just impressed with Mackenzie Blackwood's play as well. Let's face it, we can all hate on Marchand, but, the Bruins are a solid team top to bottom. They got a lot of really good players over there as well. I am a big fan of Pasta. I do like him a lot, before he got re-signed, I was like, woo, would that be a nice combination to have on the team? No, but
Scotty, Boston's a great team, but the things that Marchand does takes away from how great of a team they are. It pulls the attention away, and and it just makes an elite team just look like the evil empire at this point. And it's just I don't want to piss you off even more, but I found something very interesting on the web, on YouTube. Tell me if this is something that looks familiar of a repeat offender. If Devils fans remember this, I'm going to put this video up right here. Marcus Johansson saying, wow, that looks familiar, doesn't it? That looks familiar, doesn't it?
What do you know?
What do you know? Looks very, very
Flying
familiar.
elbow to the face. Wow.
Yeah, and the league, what did they do after that?
Does nothing.
Yep. And somehow, here we go again. Look, same thing, completely unnecessary, boom.
Yeah. I wish Stafford went there and just punched him right in the face.
Yeah, well, our beefalytics was, at -5 back in those days. But
Dude, he is one of the dirtiest players in the game, and not a good Ric Flair way either. He is a black eye for the league. These are the type of things you do not want to see.
you can't promote this sport when you have something like that. To be honest, I mean, that's not the way the game should be played. And
No.
if you don't do anything about it, it's accepted. It's just not right. The other thing too, with Marchand is, aside from being like a repeat offender, just I don't know. I think he should have been expelled from the league a few years ago when these things kept on just happening. And Max was saying in the YouTube live that the fans thought it was a clean hit. It's like, come on. I mean, it wasn't a clean hit on McLeod. And what's the status on McLeod right now? And with Timo Meyer doing what he did, that's leadership right there, Scotty. It's not more of an eye for an eye. That's not what we're talking about here. It's basically sending a message to the league's elite team that's been trying to bully the Devils around. It's not going to happen here. You may have done this a couple years ago and got away with it. It's not going to happen here. And it sent a message not only for today's game, but down the road, if the Devils do meet up with the Bruins, or for any other teams that are going to play the New Jersey Devils. This is the Devils. I used to make fun of them all the time for the last few years up until this season, that they're a very soft team. But I think watching Nico defend himself after the referees missing another high stick to the face.
Yep, that's right. He got eye sticked in the face right in front of the goal too. Yep.
Exactly.
Good call, Sam.
Exactly. So, as a fan, I could sit here and, we're trying to really not just, we're trying to talk about this in the civil manner and really just dissecting and analyzing what really happened here. And this is what I felt, what I saw tonight. This podcast is not about moral victories, okay? But you have to realize this is a young team that's going through growing pains and a learning process while concurrently trying to win a Stanley Cup at the same time. What we saw tonight was the Devils can hang with the elite team in the NHL, a historically elite team in the NHL that's breaking records left and right. Okay? They went into their building, a hostile building, TD Garden, against the President Trophy winning Boston Bruins, who have years of experience, Stanley Cup experience, years, a tremendous amount of talent. They stocked up tremendously on the trade deadline, yet the Devils, which is a learning lesson, the first 10 minutes on the road, they experience what it's like for a game one in another team's building. You have to learn how to get through those first 10 minutes. The Devils were down about 2-0, responded back, and that's what Scotty's, you agree, that's when things started to settle down. And pound for pound, I thought the Devils hung with the Boston Bruins very well. Much better than I thought. One of the biggest concerns I had on trade deadline was, could this team hang physically with a team like the Boston Bruins? I'm not expecting this young team to out-hit the Boston Bruins, but they were able to push back against the Boston Bruins. And if the Devils use their speed and skill and brains during the playoffs and are able to match their teams physically, I'm not expecting the Devils to out-hit. That's not who they are. But if they can just roll 4 lines and just wear down their opponents with their speed, they'll be okay. They're not going to get blown out throughout a series. And I think that's the most important thing that I got out of this. And to use this analogy that I told Scotty before the podcast, if you remember the New York Football Giants in 2007, when they played, coincidentally enough, the New England Patriots, the last game of the season, that game was more of kind of a measuring stick, a metric of where the Giants, who was a 9-7 team, matched up with the 16-0 Patriots. And what came out of that game was the Giants came out confident that they can hang with the best. And I'm using this analogy because I think of the Devils and Lindy Ruff and the squad, not only did that thing that happened with Mikey McLeod, I think it brought the team together because to see Timo Meyer respond, one of the newest members of the team basically said, that's not going to happen. I don't care whose building we're in. You're not going to push us around. And an all-out brawl almost ensued because you had both benches looking at each other. And that is what I want to see. And Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, just watching Nico just fight back. And somehow, they both get penalties there, but whatever. I think there's this team is you could be proud of what the New Jersey Devils did tonight. Forget about the wins or losses. You can be proud that this team has what it takes to get through the playoffs. They're not going to be swept in the first round for nothing. Because that was the biggest worry that I had was, okay, regular season's one thing, but what about the playoffs? They passed the test, Scotty. They definitely passed this test.
And I know a lot of people have already mentioned this, but man, I would have loved to have had Curtis Lazar and Eric Halla in the lineup tonight as well.
Oh yeah.
Not that Halla is any big brawler, but he's got that, I don't know. He's not going to take that stuff. You've seen Eric Halla also mix it up as well.
Yeah.
Really would have loved to have Lazar in the lineup tonight.
Yeah. And by the way, Zaka, those 2 goals, that should have never happened. You don't leave a guy that wide open in the slot area. The first goal. The second goal, Mackenzie Blackwood just got caught out of position. Okay, that was a good goal. Nice shot on net. But you know what? Those things can be cleaned up very easily, for the Devils. And, again, I'm still mad about Marchand, but
I'm pissed. I am so pissed. I'm just steaming right now. Like the more I think about it, it's just getting me madder and madder. And I'm trying not to slip and say something I'm not supposed to say on there. I'm trying to keep my mouth, trying to keep it clean over here.
That's why we got to have we have to have a paywall.
Oh, okay. All right.
21 or older,
Yeah.
And the other thing too that really pissed me off is Allmark is trying to be like a Marty Brodeur and trying to score, and it's like I thought it was icing, that was just me, because I don't know. It's like, what were the refs doing the entire night? I mean, yeah, they made some calls, but it seemed like they were more interested in watching the game. There. I mean,
yeah. You missed a hit to the head, you missed a high stick, and then you missed a blatant icing. And you know what? Not to say that the Bruins may not have just killed that off anyway, because their penalty kill is that damn good. But it's still well.
If you go back to the replay,
that was a dirty play.
If you go back to the replay, the ref waved off that icing before, like it was so quick. It was like, I don't know. I mean, Yeah, I hate to be mean, but these refs should not be reffing in the playoffs at all. They can't handle it. They can't.
Pollock is
handle
right. It should have been. You're right. If they actually called a penalty like they should have, the Devils would have definitely pulled Blackwood in that situation, and it would have been a 6-on-4.
Yep.
Because it was that late. I think it was about 6-7 minutes left to go, and we know we've seen Lindy do that before, plenty of times. He is not afraid to pull that trigger.
Yeah. A couple good things, Scotty. The Devils went hard to the net. Jesper Bratt went hard to the net.
Oh, Jesper
Some of
Bratt
those
had a hell of a
moves.
game tonight.
Yeah. He had
Loved
a
it.
great game.
And like I said, he was throwing the body in the corner. He had a couple of nice hits as well. I love that guy's game. You know, I mean, every now and then he'll have a stinker, but like the majority of the time, he packs more of a punch than you would expect from a player his size. You know, and he's got the skills. Obviously, he's 30. Was his 32nd goal? You know, he's probably going to top. He's close to, if he's not already, set to top his point total from last year. I have to look that up to see exactly where he's at. Stats, Devils, apply. Where is it? Points. Where's Jesper? He's at 71. I think he had 72, or did he have 73 last year?
I think he had 72.
So he's real. I think he had 72. So he is real close to getting there. Would love to see that. Obviously, hopefully, you know, we get him locked up for the long term because he is an integral part of this team. And what he brings there with Jack Hughes, man, do they have chemistry. And boy, was Scotty wrong again. Remember when the season started? No way Jack and Jesper could be on the same line together. Well, shows you how much I know. Because now I'm like, don't bring those guys up. Are you kidding me? So, never afraid to call myself out for being dumb. It happens quite often. So, but hey, you got to see the way these guys go and the chemistry. Hey, we all thought Timo would be great with Jack, and man, you know, Timo. Well, here's another thing too. Jesper Boquist has really gone ice cold. I feel like. You know, he had that nice stretch of like 2 or 3 weeks where he was really producing, and now don't see so much from him anymore.
Yeah, you know, that 2 or 3 week stretch, it was almost like he was in, you know, when you play video games like cheat code. He was like in cheat code, you know, form.
Mm-hmm.
But he's kind of disappeared. But you know what, Scotty? Once Hall comes back, and Lazar, I don't think he's going to be seeing much time at all, because the Devils, you know, their 4 lines are very good, Scotty.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope McLeod's okay, you know, with that. I mean, that was vicious, but
I mean, and also like we talked about, I mean, it goes not as noticed, but he is a monster in that face-off circle. I mean, he is tops in the league. That is a huge, huge element. I mean, there were plenty of times, even in this game tonight, for that third line, because you got Boquist and Sharangovich there, who are not the best at face-offs. You saw plenty of times McLeod taking the face-off in the defensive zone and then hopping off the ice, and either Boquist or Sharangovich jumping on. We know Nico does a good job in that face-off circle as well, but Mikey McLeod, that is a specialty for him. We know he's not going to set the world on fire, you know, points-wise, but as a fourth liner, is Boquist still in the NHL? Yes, Bill, he is. Believe it or not, he was on the ice tonight, although he has gone into his disappearing act again. I know that was one of my biggest complaints. I would say, like, you never hear the announce team calling his name. He disappears once he gets out there on the ice. It seems like he's going through he's still got good speed, but it doesn't really seem like he's making a big impact out there for a number of games now, unfortunately. Even so, you remember, what was it, about maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, the Devils were going with 7 D-man. And I think Sam Wu's right, And by the way, I love Sam's analogy of the Giants-Patriots. Because I remember feeling like that, like, well, if the Giants just got the ball back, they were going to score again. And maybe if the Devils had some more time, they'd have been able to get one past Ullmark. But they hung in this game.
Well, Timo,
they did not get blown out, and they could have easily, after that first 5 minutes, it could have easily gone the other direction.
Timo almost got one. You almost got one.
Timo almost.
Yeah, when the puck was in
that
the
one,
crease.
I think it was it on. Yeah, well, that was the Jesper Bratt on the power play where Nico was behind and he fed Jesper, and then Jesper shot and Timo deflected it. But there was another one, I think it was Tatar set him up, and the puck just went off the heel of his stick.
Yeah.
He was right there in the slot. And then he had another backhander there at the end. The one that Marino, I don't know how Marino walked through like 3 Boston defensemen there in like the last 2 minutes of the game. I was like, that puck is getting picked. I thought they picked that puck from Marino, and all of a sudden he's behind them, going towards the net. And I'm like, holy hell, he still got it, man! I cannot believe that.
I thought that was
what
Bobby
a play
Orr.
by John.
I thought it was Bobby Orr.
Yeah. That was a hell of a play over there, and he passed it across, and Timo had that backhand. It was a high backhander too. Omar came through, and we've seen him kind of have the Devils' number, this year in some of these games. Well, in all of them, really. The Devils haven't beat the Bruins this year. But I think the Devils did more than just, hang. They really put their foot down. And I don't know who said it in the chat here. It was way back in the beginning, but someone said it. Timo Meier is now officially a Devil. By going in there, sticking up for the team, putting pasta on his butt at the end of the game, with a clean check on the boards. That's what teammates do.
It sent a message. It
sent a message. And if Boston don't like it, they can talk to their boy.
Ariel.
Talk to 63.
Marino avoided the
sack. Oh, thank you, Ariel, for making me laugh, because man, am I pissed. I am just pissed at that hit, and I'm pissed that I didn't get a call. I'm really annoyed with that. So thank you, Ariel, for making me laugh over there. I don't know what's going on with Palat. He seemed a little off tonight as well. I like the idea of him playing with Jack and Jesper. But something just seems not right at the moment with Palat. Maybe he does need a maintenance day or two, much like Holla took. Was there any reports, by the way? Did anyone see any reports on Holla? Because I didn't see anything. I know he
was sick?
Like I said, I don't know. I know Lindy yesterday in the practice, he didn't practice. They said he was taking a maintenance day. Him and someone else, I can't remember. I'm trying to think. Was it someone on defense that was also taking was it Marino, I think, was taking a maintenance day as well? It was Holla and someone else. But, yeah, we got to see what's going on with Eric Holla. Hopefully it is nothing serious. Because, being a former Bruin, you would think he'd be ready to play this game if he could. I forgot how many ex-Devils are on the Bruins as well, with Zaka and Taylor Hall. Greer really didn't play that much. He was more down with Utica and everything like that. But I almost forget that Dougie Hamilton was on the Bruins, too, to start his career.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, we're going to have to find out, Ariel.
I would love to have a 7-game series with Boston at some point in the playoffs. I would love to see these two teams go because that would be game 1 of a 7-game series. And could the Devils adjust for game 2? But that first 10 minutes, if you wipe out the first 10 minutes, that was an even game, Scotty. And once Boston gets the lead, they're pretty airtight. So it's amazing how the league doesn't call them boring because they try to shut it down right after,
This was I got to say, this was a pretty exciting 2-1 game. I mean, I was not bored at all during this game. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
Yeah, I was too. But, another lesson, when you have a 4-minute power play, you got to get them. There's your opportunity,
Yeah. No, that and I got to give Boston credit for that because their PK is. They are tops in the league. They're first in the league. But that PK is such a weapon.
But I will tell you,
it was like how many? I seriously, it was just like, are they still playing with 5 people out there? How are they just everywhere on the ice at all times on that PK? They set up a really good perimeter, and the Devils were not able to get any of their power plays set up and going and get significant time in the zone. Like Boston was on those pucks, near the boards, and they were winning those battles and just boop, 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 right back out of the zone.
Yep.
You have to give them credit there at that. That was really good play. I give Boston credit except for one person.
Well, let me
and
tell
we all
you
know
this.
who I'm talking about.
Let me tell you this. So where Boston had the advantage on that 4-minute power play, the Devils had, they were sucking wind towards the end of the second period. They had the intermission to reset and plan it, and that's where they had the advantage. Had that happened maybe 3 minutes to go in the second period, I think it would have been a different story, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. This was a tough loss, but it wasn't a bad loss. The Devils, they played well, and they're playing a team that is on the brink of being the best team in league history. So you got to give them some credit there, much like the Giants with the Patriots. One of the best teams in league history. Well, Sam Wu, a little bit of a downer afterwards with everything that happened with McLeod. So maybe we should get to some you versus Wu right now. Our daily score predictions here on the games. The cup is what matters. I completely agree. Much like the New England Patriots, who, if I remember correctly, did not win that NFL trophy there at the Super Bowl trophy, whatever the hell it's called there at the end of the year.
Bill Agnew. I'm losing my voice here, but the cup has to go.
UTI is setting in on Sam Wu. He's taking one in the chin.
The cup has to go through Boston in the Eastern Conference. Of course you want a 7-game series with them, Bill. There's no way you're not going to get to the cup without going through Boston. I don't want them in the first round, obviously, which won't happen, but you have to go through Boston to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. There's no other way.
Yeah, and I do where is it? Ariel just said it over here. If you can play Boston in a series like that, the Devils' speed is going to start to really take effect as well. They're young, they got plenty of energy, and they are hella fast.
I mean, think about playing the Devils in a 7-game series. By game 5, 6, and 7, that's where the youth is going to come in, because the Devils have like almost unlimited amount of energy and speed.
Sam Wu football call before he loses his voice over under. Hey, Max, we almost had it. I thought we were going to get one when Marino bobbed and weaved his way into the zone there late in the third period and had that pass over to Timo Meyer. I thought we were going to get it.
Almost happened.
Almost happened.
Almost happened. But Max, thank you for the live feed for Game Day Live.
Yeah.
That was awesome. It was awesome. And touchdown Devils in front of John Marino.
Touchdown Devils, John Marino. Well, that makes me happy. That makes me happy that John Marino loves our touchdown calls and everything. So that's damn good.
Apparently it was
I want Warner Wolf. Let's go to the videotape.
He's probably like, those are the people Dad has been hanging out with.
I see him chuckling. Very nice. I'm sure Paul told him about it, so that's great, man. But I love that we're having fun. I love that you guys are here chatting with us after this game. Devils lost 2-1, but still played a hell of a tough game against arguably the one of the best teams of all time. And Sam Wu just disappeared on me. We were just going to get to you versus Wu. Our score predictions. If you got them, put them up there in the chat. Ronaldo had 5-3. Max had 3-2 Devils in OT. Oh, yeah. Very nice, Max. You got the 2 right for the Bruins. There you go. Joseph had 3-2. Point for you as well. All right. So we're getting some OTLs over here. I like it. What'd you have, Sam Wu? Or actually, what did Vinny Parisi have?
4-3 Devils.
Vinny had 4-3. Okay. Ramona had 3-2 Devils. All right, Ramona gets a point as well for getting the Bruins side right there with the 2. Okay, how about you, Sam Wu?
I had 15-0 Devils.
15-0 Devils.
No, I'm just kidding. I had 6-3. I think I had 6-3 or 5-3.
6-3?
6-3. 5-3 Devils?
Wow. I think this one might have been the good one to go with, like the 3-2 or the 2-1 score for this one. But unfortunately, the Devils on the losing side this time. And one thing that Sean McDonough said during the game that I think is right, possible preview of a potential Eastern Conference Finals. Excuse me, Beastern Conference Finals. Because the East is the beast. Oh, Max is saying it felt like a playoff preview. I mean, I felt like it.
Yeah.
I felt like these games are, oh, man, all I can think about is that hit, and it's just pissing me off. All right. Thank you, everybody. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch for tuning in on this Saturday night. Doing a true Devils After Dark. We have passed midnight in the Eastern time zone. Sam Wu, it is past your bedtime, young man. Mrs. Wu is going to be upset.
No, she's not upset.
She's not upset. You need who said it last time? You need to throw a lozenge when we're doing our Boston accents. You need to throw a lozenge.
The car.
I think I left it out in the car.
Car.
Let me go out there. Get a lozenge.
Take the car into the harbor. Take Brad Marchand, put him in the harbor.
Yeah, it was a late start. It was 8 o'clock. And I totally dummied this on the last day. I was like, oh, yeah, 5 o'clock start. It was 5 o'clock start for me. I was thinking, I was here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, where the hell's the Devils game? Why is the Stars game on now? What's going on? And I'm like, oh, duh, Scott. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So I screwed that one up. I parked my car in Harvard Yard. Very nice. Very nice. Yes, happy holidays to whatever you celebrate out there over the weekend. And we're going to be back tomorrow. The big show. We haven't had a big show in quite some time.
Yes.
Shorts Guy, Beer Baron, Sam Wu, myself. There's been games. We've been doing back-to-back games for the last, 4 or 5 weekends, I feel like. So you get a big show tomorrow night. Don't forget to wake up with Morning Woo and the Woo Report.
They love
with the greatest heel in the history of hockey Twitter. The king of the football calls himself Sam by God Woo. Who came up with that? Was that Oh My Goodness or Bocce Gloop? Who came up with Wake Up with Morning Woo? I can't remember. Selecta? Whoever said that. Genius. Genius. But we will be back for the big show, the official Let's Go Devils podcast tomorrow, Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Beer Baron, Shorts Guy, and Sam by God Woo. Talking about, we got 2 games left. Right? Or do we have 3? Yep. No, we have 2 games left, right?
2 games left.
Not Boston. We got Buffalo. Yeah, that's right. Buffalo and Washington. So we'll see exactly where we end up. We'll see how Carolina does on Monday. But before we get there, we'll talk about it all tomorrow night here exclusively on the Let's Go Devils Podcast Network. So I'm sorry, Sam. I'm pissed. Not at the loss, but at that dirty hit.
It's all good, Scotty. It's all good. We'll figure it out.
We will get there. Playoff bound no matter what. I don't care if we're playing the Rangers or if we're playing the Panthers or the Penguins. I don't really give a crap. We're going to the playoffs, baby.
If we play the Bruins.
I'm ready for it.
Play the Bruins.
Bring them on. Bring them on.
We'll have Brad Marchand Battery Day at the Bruins.
Hit him with the chicken tenders.
Just jokes. Just jokes. Don't bring batteries in. No.
Hit him with the Wawa subs. Isn't that what we were going to do last time? Hit him with a Wawa or a quick check sub. Curtis Lazar will pick it up and start eating it off the ice. Yeah, turkey and provolone. Awesome. There's a ham, salami, and cheese. Excellent. But thank you, everyone, on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch for tuning in for a true Devils After Dark here. Devils fall to the Boston Bruins 2-1. 2 more games to go in this season. See if they can get to that. Well, they get 2 more shots. They might break their all-time record. They win these next 2. It'll be 52 wins and 112 points. So we will see.
Well, drop of the podcast in about 20 minutes. See you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Will Sam's UTI be healed?
Let's go, Devils.